Sagittarius, are you ready to hear something that your heart might not yet be ready to face? Because the one you thought had disappeared from your life has, in truth, still been choosing you, silently, fiercely. And this return is unlike anything you've ever known before. This won't just be a love story, it will be an emotional earthquake, a sacred decoding from the universe. About you, about them, and about the deeper reason why your heart still hasn't been able to love anyone else. Stay until the end of this video, Sagittarius, because there is something, if you truly understand it today, your life will begin to turn in a direction you never imagined. And if you're truly ready, leave a comment. I am ready to receive my destined love. Because that is not just an affirmation, it's a ritual to align you with the destiny the universe has quietly prepared for you all along. If you feel this message speaks to you, like this video, share it with someone who's also searching for the kind of light you once needed, and subscribe to this channel so we can walk together as souls who are never lost, only being prepared. Now ask yourself, who is the one choosing Sagittarius, and why are they showing up at this exact moment? The answer begins with the very energy you've been radiating without even realizing it. There are moments in the year when the universe doesn't knock with noise, but with a stirring deep inside your heart. And for Sagittarius right now, that energy isn't loud, but it's persistent. And your soul knows it. Something is shifting. It is no accident that you found this video, because when the most loving planets in the cosmos gather around the light of Sagittarius, they don't come to bring a simple blessing. They come cloaked as a challenge in disguise. Love is on its way, but not in the form you once dreamed of. It won't resemble the love songs you used to play, and it won't look like anyone you've ever known. This is the kind of love that makes you question who you really are. Maybe recently your heart has felt hollow in a way you can't explain. You smile at others, but the smile holds no feeling. You live, but it's as though you're only temporarily staying in a life that doesn't fully feel like yours. But you know what, Sagittarius? That's not because you've lost your way. It's because the universe is preparing you for a sacred reunion between you and you. And before that happens, you need to feel that emptiness so that you can truly receive the part of your soul that you left behind somewhere long ago. From an astrological point of view, a quiet movement is taking place. A planet that embodies gentle love is drawing closer to the light you've been carrying. It's illuminating the things you've been hiding, the emotions you thought you'd left behind, and it's awakening a stream of feelings you haven't dared to touch in a very long time. There is someone you might prefer not to name, who's been thinking of you, quietly, regretfully, and you can feel it, like a faint vibration in your recent dreams, or like a song from long ago suddenly playing and tightening your throat. I want to share a personal truth with you, a realization I've gathered over many lives, both my own and those I've walked alongside. Love doesn't always arrive when you're ready. It arrives when your soul needs it the most. Often it comes when you're tired, when you feel empty, when you've started to question your own worth. Because real love isn't a reward, it's a rebirth. Sagittarius, maybe you once loved someone so deeply that you believed, if you lost them, you would never believe in love again. But you're still here, still living, still quietly opening your heart to every small beam of light life dares to offer you. That doesn't mean you're weak. It means you are quietly strong, and that is a sacred quality that only souls refined through pain by God could ever understand. You've known what it feels like to not be chosen, to wait for a message that never came, to place your faith in what felt like destiny only to watch it crumble in your hands. And perhaps because of that, you learned how to stand alone. No one knows the depth of that ache, but you do. So let me say this, from my heart to yours. If someone is choosing you now, that is no coincidence. And if love is returning to your life, it's not to repeat an old pattern. It's to show you that every ounce of love you gave away is now making its way back to you. Not in the same form, but in a more mature, more beautiful, more truthful form. Sagittarius, if you've ever asked yourself, why do I always feel more deeply than others? Why can't I love lightly? Why does my heart still stir, even when my logic says don't? Then I want you to know this. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't feel too much. You feel exactly as much as a soul born to heal is meant to feel. And because you've once been shattered, you've become a sanctuary for others. Because you were once left behind, you know how to stay. Because you were once not chosen, you learned how to choose yourself. That's why this coming love won't look like anything you've known before. Because this time, no one is coming to complete you. They're coming because they are drawn to the light you began to radiate after the breaking. If you feel these words echoing what your heart has been trying to say, leave a comment. I am ready to be chosen, not because I am lacking, but because I am whole. Let that sentence become a declaration for yourself and a signal to the universe that you are no longer refusing love. And if you know someone else who carries questions they've never dared to speak aloud, share this video with them as a gentle offering from your soul to theirs. Because what if I told you they never really let go of you? And what if they're coming back now, bearing a change you might barely recognize? Keep watching, because that wild, untamed love is about to take shape right before your eyes, Sagittarius. There are people who leave, not because they stopped loving you, but because they never learned how to love you the right way. And you, Sagittarius, the one who always chooses freedom as your destination, you quietly accepted that departure as a part of destiny. But the universe never forgets. The angel compass, an astrological symbol that rarely appears, is now slowly turning toward you. This means one thing: a soul that was once deeply connected to yours is being stirred awake by the very energy you're radiating. No need to call. No need to text. Just by living as your true self, they will find their way back. They, the one who once didn't know how to keep you, are now walking through silent nights, finally beginning to realize not everyone brings the same feeling you once did. No matter how many people pass through their life, no one smiles quite like you. No one asks, "Are you okay?" the way you did. No one loves them with the kind of wholeheartedness you gave. Maybe you don't know this, but there have been many moments when they reached for their phone, wanting to say something to you, then putting it down, because they no longer felt they had the right. And maybe you're asking yourself, why now? Why come back after I've already learned to live without them? But I want to invite you to ask a different question. What if this person isn't just part of your past, but the one destined for you? Could you be soft enough not to see them through the eyes of the day they left, but through the eyes of a soul that has grown through seasons of heartbreak? I'm not saying you must forgive them. I'm simply asking you to place your hand on your heart and listen. Does it still skip when you think of the name you no longer speak aloud? Here is something I've seen over and over again in the birth charts of people like you, especially Sagittarians who have loved with their whole soul. When someone returns from the past, it isn't a repetition. It's a realignment. The universe never sends back what once broke you, just to break you again. It sends them to show you this: you are no longer the one who suffers in silence. You have changed, and you are worthy of being chosen and loved in a way that no longer hurts. And here's what you may not know. While you were learning how to live without them, they were learning something too. Something only your absence could teach. That real love isn't something they can find in just anyone. That not everyone can be returned to. And some people, if they lose them forever. Sagittarius, could it be that they still keep an old photo of you? Still listen to the song you once sent? Still dream of you standing in that familiar place, not angry, just smiling? I don't know if you're ready to receive them, but I do know this: the universe never sends someone back unless something still needs to be healed. And sometimes what needs healing isn't in you, it's in them. Because you've already learned how to forgive. They are just now learning how to say they're sorry. If you've ever loved so deeply that you lost yourself in the process, leave a sacred affirmation in the comments, a vow to your own heart. I'm ready to meet again, not to resume what was, but to know I've grown beyond the pain. You are the light they're searching for, not because you're the same, but because you are now the radiant version of who you once were. And if this story touches a place in you thought you'd buried long ago, share this video with someone who might need a message from the heart, because maybe you are the bridge that helps them find their way back to their own light. But Sagittarius, not every love that returns is easy, because this time it will be more intense than ever, and you'll be faced with a choice: to move forward or to let go. Forever. Let's move forward, because what's waiting for you isn't just love, it's the rebirth of who you truly are. Love, if it makes too much sense, might not be meant for Sagittarius, because love doesn't arrive to follow your logic, but to break apart the patterns you once built to feel safe. And in this very moment, with Jupiter, your ruling planet, being stretched and stirred by the wild pull of Uranus, something is already quietly unfolding. Your heart is opening to something with no script. It's not coming from what's familiar. It's not coming from the type you thought made sense. It won't enter your life gently like background music, but crash in like a storm that tears through everything you thought was stable. And the most beautiful part, Sagittarius? You're no longer afraid of it. You've walked through enough to know love doesn't have to be safe, it has to be real. And this love that's coming, it may be wild, but it will be honest enough to make you feel alive again. I have seen it again and again in the birth charts of Sagittarians. When Jupiter is heavily influenced by Uranus, there's always one common thread. A relationship arrives, unexpected, beyond your control. Someone shows up, out of order, without logic, but shakes the entire ground within you. And many have asked themselves, is this a gift or the universe's final test? Maybe the answer isn't in them. Maybe it's in you. Sagittarius, you are not like the others. You don't love to attach, you love to fly. You're not looking for a name to fill a blank space in your heart. You're searching for a soul, wide enough not to cage you, and deep enough not to lose you in your freedom. And because of that, to love a Sagittarius is to love a free spirit. But to stay beside one, you must be strong enough not to try to control them. This love might not follow standards. Maybe they come when you're telling yourself you're fine. Maybe you're still in a relationship that you know isn't truly yours. Or maybe you're standing at a crossroads where reason whispers, don't, but your soul says, this is it. This is the kind of love that shakes you from the inside, that makes you rebel, that makes you want to abandon a life that once felt secure. And that's not wrong, because someone is about to enter your life, not to complete you, but to ignite you. They're not coming to fill a void. They're coming because they need the light you carry. And you need that reflection to finally see the part of your soul you left behind long ago. Let me say this. As someone who has loved and lost, been pushed beyond my limits, and came back stronger, a wild love doesn't break you. It only shatters the mask you once wore to protect yourself from pain. You might lie awake for nights. You might ask yourself, is this worth it? But in the end, you will find yourself, a version of you brighter, truer, and freer. If you've ever gone through a love that made you lose yourself, but in losing, helped you be reborn, share this video as a message to other hearts, that they're not crazy, they're just loving with their whole truth. And if you're standing at the edge of hard choices, comment this affirmation. I'm not afraid of wild love, as long as it's honest. Let those words become a connection, not just to me, but to your own heart that's craving clarity. But that wild love, it will demand a choice, and that choice may cost you everything familiar. Sagittarius, are you ready to let go of stability to step into the unknown? Even if that unknown is exactly what your soul has been waiting for. Because behind that door isn't just love, but a rewritten destiny. Some beginnings don't start with a knock, but with the sound of an old door closing. And Sagittarius, if you are walking away from something you once called home, know this. You're not moving backward, you're being led somewhere new, a place your soul has waited a long time to reach. Every relationship has a life cycle. Some come to open your heart to the world, some come only to teach you how to let go, and some return, not to stay, but to show you how much you've changed. Have you ever looked back at someone and suddenly realized you no longer want what you once begged for? Not because you've hardened, but because you've outgrown that pain. And sometimes the universe doesn't take anyone away. It's just that they no longer resonate with the frequency you now vibrate on. Rahu is whispering to you, Sagittarius, that a restructuring is taking place within the house of your soul. You may find yourself moving away from a place that once felt familiar. A family member may begin to see you differently. Or a relationship within your home may now carry silences that never used to exist. These are not breakdowns, they are shifts. A gentle earthquake, not to destroy, but to realign the foundation. Sagittarius, you used to be very good at enduring. You used to compromise, stay quiet, and shrink yourself down just to fit into someone else's space. But now, your soul will no longer allow it. You no longer want to live in a relationship just so you can say, I have someone. You can no longer bear conversations that aren't honest, or hugs that still leave you feeling alone inside. Let me say this, from heart to heart, you are not losing. You are being cleared out to be filled in. The universe never takes something away without giving you something greater. You don't have to understand everything right now. You just have to trust this. Every exit is making space for a miracle to enter. Do you remember what you once prayed for on a night you felt deeply alone? Maybe you wished for someone who'd truly love you. Maybe for a peaceful family. Or maybe just the feeling of belonging. And now, as everything is changing, you might not even realize, but what you once prayed for is being answered. Only, it's arriving in a different form. Not as the return of the old, but as a new version of you, strong enough to receive it the right way. If you're in a season of goodbye, to a home, a person, a feeling that once went deep, take a quiet moment now and say to yourself, I'm not being left behind. I'm being moved to a higher level. Comment those words if your heart needs a sacred promise. Let them be more than a sentence. Let them be a declaration to your soul that you are ready to enter a new chapter of your journey. And when you've made it through the long nights alone, when you've sat in the silence of your own home and learned to listen to yourself, when you no longer need someone to come rescue you from your loneliness, that's when the one who's meant to come will come. Not to rescue you, but to walk beside you. Because you've learned to stand on your own, you now deserve someone who can walk with you without asking you to shrink or sacrifice any part of yourself. Because life hasn't abandoned you, Sagittarius. It's opening a road you've never walked, a path where you no longer have to compromise just to be loved. And at that exact turn, a soul will be waiting to walk with you into the next chapter. Have you ever wondered why some people enter our lives without an invitation, but touch us deeper than anyone else? Maybe it wasn't coincidence. Maybe they were guided by the light you quietly radiated in the moments you thought you were at your weakest. Sagittarius, you are the sign of the arrow, but few understand that your arrow doesn't only point toward the future. It aims for the hearts of those who are destined, those who cannot find their way back to themselves until they see you. You don't chase people. You don't do everything just to be loved. You simply live as your true self. And that alone makes someone start to reevaluate their entire life. The love you are about to receive is not a coincidence. It is the sacred response of the universe to all the times you loved but were not chosen, to all the times you accepted being last on someone's list, to all the messages that never got a reply, to all the quiet sacrifices no one ever fully understood. Maybe you once thought you weren't enough, not pretty enough, not normal enough, but the very thing that made you not belong is the reason someone won't be able to take their eyes off you this time. You are a rare soul. Not everyone can see that. Only those emerging from their own shadows can truly see you as the light that leads them forward. No one really finds you. They are only led to you when they're finally awake enough to recognize the light you've always carried. This person isn't coming because you need them. They're coming because they need a soul like yours to awaken themselves. And this time, you won't have to trade anything to stay in love. No need to shrink your dreams. No need to stay quiet when you're hurting. No need to pretend to be easy to love. Just be yourself. And they will choose you, not because you are the safe option, but because you are the one they've unconsciously been searching for all their life. This love won't rush in like a drunken high. It will arrive as an awakening, a deep silence where two souls recognize each other in the chaos of the world. And then, together, you'll step into a new journey, not to complete each other, but to grow together, authentically and freely. If you have ever loved but were never chosen, write down this affirmation. Now I choose myself, and the right love will choose me. Let that sentence be a soft prayer sent into the sky where the stars still watch over you in silence. And if this video touched something deep inside you, share it with someone who's also learning to love themselves, like you are. Maybe you are the bridge that helps them meet their right love. Because sometimes the greatest soul gift isn't a love that comes from someone else, but the moment you finally know, you never had to pretend to be worthy of anyone. And it is in that very moment when you are most real that the miracle begins. Dear Sagittarius, thank you for staying until this very moment. Thank you for not clicking away when the feelings became uncomfortable. Thank you for still believing in the light, even when you had to walk through the dark alone. You are not just someone seeking love. You are a soul, finally ready to be loved the right way. If anything in this video made you pause, made you cry, or made you feel seen, leave an affirmation in the comments for your own heart. And please, share this video with someone who's walking their healing path. You never know, your one small action today might change someone's entire destiny. Click like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget this: you are the light. And that light never needed anyone's permission to shine. See you again, where the strongest souls walk forward together.